Hey there, and welcome back. We're ready to dive deep today.
Deep dive.
Yeah, into the world of crypto and global markets and all this cool cutting-edge tech and innovations with blockchain.
Yeah.
So think of it kind of like your personalized cheat sheet
Yeah.
to the most impactful things that are happening right now.
Right.
And we've got like a whole stack of market snapshots, blockchain events, news articles, all sorts of stuff.
Cool.
So are you ready to find out why Poland might be looking into Bitcoin?
Interesting.
What Donald Trump is doing with crypto and how digital twins are showing up in Saudi Arabian cities?
And we're going to talk about Solana ETFs too, right?
Yeah, can't forget about that.
Huge.
Let's start by zooming out and getting like a panoramic view of the crypto market right now.
Okay.
Our snapshot is telling us that the global crypto market cap is at a mind-boggling $3.08 trillion.
Wow.
Which, to put that into perspective, that's bigger than like the GDP of a lot of countries.
It's massive. Yeah, it's huge. And we've got like a 1.18% increase in the last 24 hours.
Okay.
And a crazy $197.43 billion in trading volume.
Right.
Which is a 27.75 jump from just the day before.
So what's really interesting here is that, it doesn't seem like this is just like a retail investor thing.
Yeah.
That jump in the volume suggests that we're seeing more action from like bigger players like institutions, hedge funds.
Yeah.
Even some governments are getting involved.
Wow.
So this is really signaling like a bigger shift in how people are looking at crypto now, moving away from just like a speculative asset.
Right.
And now it's becoming more like a potential store of value.
Yeah.
A legitimate part of the entire financial system.
It really feels like it's not just this fringe thing anymore.
Right.
And speaking of shifts, DeFi is just like exploding.
Absolutely.
The total volume hit $9.73 billion.
Wow.
With like $110.45 billion locked in.
So what do you think is driving this huge surge?
Yeah, and what does it tell us about where things are going with finance?
Well, I think this DeFi boom shows that investors are looking for alternatives to that traditional finance world. They want more transparency and control over what they own.
Right.
And they're really attracted to that decentralized way that DeFi works.
Yeah.
Where you can lend, borrow, trade without dealing with those middlemen like banks.
Right.
And I think this could really change the entire financial landscape as we know it.
It's really fascinating to see how it's challenging that status quo. And stablecoins are a big part of this too, right?
A huge part, yeah.
They're accounting for a massive 91.1% of the total crypto market volume in the last day.
Exactly.
So
stablecoins are like the backbone of the crypto economy now.
Yeah.
Their stability makes them perfect for everyday transactions. And they're like that bridge between the crazy world of crypto and that traditional financial system.
Right.
Their growing popularity really highlights the need for digital assets that are both secure and easy to use.
Speaking of changing landscapes, remember when Donald Trump called Bitcoin a scam?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Seems like he's changed his tune a bit because he recently met with Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong. So is this just like a political move?
Yeah.
Or could it actually mean a real change in how the U.S. regulates crypto?
Well, the reports say the meeting focused on creating a Bitcoin and Crypto Presidential Advisory Council.
Interesting.
So if this actually happens, it could be a really big deal.
Yeah.
Just imagine a council giving the president advice on all things crypto.
Wow.
This could lead to a much better regulatory environment, attract more investment, and really boost innovation in the U.S. crypto world.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
And it seems like even the old school financial world is paying attention. Goldman Sachs, a name that's basically Wall Street, is planning to spin off their digital assets platform, into a separate entity that will focus on blockchain technology.
So what does that tell you?
I mean,
I think it's a clear sign that big financial institutions are starting to see the value in blockchain solutions. They're realizing that blockchain can really streamline their operations, reduce costs, and open up new markets for financial instruments.
Right.
It shows that blockchain is moving away from just being a niche technology and becoming a core part of the financial mainstream.
So we've got potential policy changes in the U.S., Wall Street's embracing blockchain.
Yeah.
Now let's hop over to Poland,
Okay.
where this presidential candidate, Sławomir Mencen, has proposed something pretty interesting.
What's that?
A strategic Bitcoin reserve.
Wow. A strategic Bitcoin reserve.
Yeah.
So this aligns with a growing global trend of countries exploring Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation and geopolitical risks.
Right.
Mencen's vision is to make Poland a crypto haven.
Interesting.
Attracting investment with low taxes, supportive banking policies, and a favorable regulatory environment.
So it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
could Bitcoin, this decentralized currency, actually become like a major part of national reserves?
Right.
Alongside gold?
Yeah. What are the pros and cons there?
Yeah. What are the potential benefits and drawbacks?
Well, on the one hand, Bitcoin's limited supply and decentralized nature offer a potential hedge against inflation and geopolitical turmoil.
Okay.
Unlike traditional currencies,
Yeah.
Bitcoin isn't controlled by any one government or central bank,
Right.
making it potentially attractive for countries who are looking to diversify their reserves and reduce their reliance on the U.S. dollar.
That's a really compelling argument.
Yeah.
But what about the risks?
Right.
Bitcoin is notoriously volatile.
Yeah.
And there are security concerns to consider.
Right. The volatility is a major concern.
Yeah.
If Bitcoin's price were to drop sharply,
Yeah.
it could really devalue the reserve. Then there's also the challenge of keeping those digital assets safe from hacking and theft,
Right.
which requires some serious cybersecurity measures.
And then there are the environmental concerns surrounding Bitcoin mining, which uses up a lot of energy.
Exactly.
So it seems like holding Bitcoin as a national reserve is a big gamble.
Yeah.
With potentially huge rewards, but also some big risks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a decision that needs a deep understanding of how Bitcoin works, its potential impact on a country's economy, and a careful assessment of the risks involved.
Absolutely.
So Poland's move definitely raises some interesting questions.
Yeah, it does.
Now, before we jump into the world of digital twins,
Okay.
let's shift gears back to the U.S. for a minute.
Sure.
There's a lot of buzz going around about a potential Solana ETF boom, and some analysts believe that a Trump presidency could be the catalyst.
Interesting.
So can you explain what's going on here?
Well, Van Eck analyst Matt Siegel, he predicts that a Trump presidency, with its expected pro-crypto stance and potential changes at the SEC, could really pave the way for a wave of Solana ETF approvals.
Wow.
This would give investors a regulated and accessible way to get involved in Solana, which could attract a ton of institutional investment and really drive up its value.
That sounds really promising for Solana.
It does.
But I remember reading that there's a big hurdle to overcome, the lack of a regulated Solana futures market.
Right.
Can you explain why this is so important for ETF approval?
Sure. So a regulated futures market offers a standardized and transparent way to track the price of an asset, which is crucial for creating an ETF that accurately reflects the value of that underlying asset. Without it, the SEC is hesitant to approve ETFs. They're worried about market manipulation and investor protection.
So even if the regulatory environment becomes more favorable under a new administration, the lack of a regulated futures market is still a big roadblock for a Solana ETF.
Yeah, exactly. However, a shift in U.S. crypto regulation could address this issue and bring the U.S. more in line with international markets where crypto ETFs are already more common. It's a dynamic situation. Definitely something to keep an eye on.
We'll definitely be watching that closely.
For sure.
Now, let's explore how blockchain is connecting with other groundbreaking fields. Like AI and digital twins.
Sounds good.
The Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy recently held 2 workshops that caught our attention. One focused on attracting AI talent to Dubai, and the other on empowering women in digital business.
Interesting.
So what can you tell us about these workshops and what they reveal about Dubai's goals in the tech world?
Dubai is really pushing to become a global hub for digital innovation, and these workshops show just how serious they are. The Mapping Dubai's Tech Talent Workshop showcased their dynamic tech ecosystem and their commitment to getting the best talent in AI and other digital sectors.
So do you think their efforts are going to be enough to attract top talent?
It's a tough competition out there.
Yeah.
But Dubai does offer a unique mix.
Yeah.
A business-friendly environment, cutting-edge infrastructure, and a strategic location right at the crossroads of East and West.
It's true.
And they're also investing heavily in developing their own talent pool.
Yeah.
Through programs like the 1 Million Arab Coders.
That's great.
Yeah.
What about the workshop on women in digital business?
Oh, that one was particularly inspiring.
Yeah.
They really highlighted the importance of diversity and inclusion in the tech sector.
Right.
And they gave some valuable insights and resources for women entrepreneurs looking to build and scale successful tech companies.
It's really encouraging to see them making that a priority. Now, let's dive into the fascinating world of digital twins.
Okay.
Where these virtual copies of entire cities are becoming reality.
Wow.
Naver, a South Korean tech giant, has partnered with Saudi Arabia's national housing company to develop this platform called TwinXR, which integrates augmented reality, virtual reality, and robotics.
Wow.
Creating a hyper-realistic and interactive virtual model of Saudi cities.
So what are they using it for?
They're using it for all sorts of applications, from flood management and urban planning to traffic optimization.
By simulating different situations in this virtual environment, they can make better decisions, reduce risks, and create smarter, more efficient cities.
Can you give us a bit more detail on how they're using it for flood management?
Sure. So let's say there's a big rainstorm in Riyadh.
Okay.
The TwinXR platform can take real-time weather data and combine that with the city's drainage system model to predict which areas might flood.
Wow.
This lets city officials proactively send resources and take steps to prevent damage, potentially saving lives and property.
So they're not just reacting to a crisis after it happens. They can see potential problems coming and take preventative measures.
Exactly.
That's incredibly powerful.
It is.
And the same approach can be used for a lot of urban challenges, right?
Oh, absolutely.
From optimizing energy use to planning for population growth.
Yeah, all sorts of things.
It seems like these digital twins could completely change how we design, manage, and even interact with our cities. Making them more efficient, sustainable, and resilient.
For sure.
It's so exciting to see these innovations being used to solve real-world problems.
It really is.
It's just incredible.
Yeah. It's a real testament to human ingenuity. And our ability to use technology to solve complex challenges.
All this talk about digital twins, AI, and blockchain really makes it clear that technology is evolving faster than ever. And it's not just changing how we live. It's transforming entire industries and reshaping the global landscape.
It's happening faster than ever before.
It really is.
And this convergence of these really powerful technologies is creating a ripple effect across every sector.
Wow.
From finance and healthcare
Yeah.
to manufacturing and education.
It's amazing to think about all the possibilities.
It is.
But it can also feel a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
How can we as individuals stay ahead of the curve and make sense of all this?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think the key is to have a mindset of lifelong learning.
Okay.
We need to be curious, adaptable, and willing to keep updating our knowledge and skills.
Yeah.
The world's changing so quickly
Right.
that what we learned in school
Yeah.
or even a few years ago might not be relevant anymore.
So it's not just about learning things, it's about learning how to learn.
Exactly.
And how to adapt to new information and technologies.
Yeah, we need to get comfortable with not knowing everything.
Right.
And embrace the fact that the future is uncertain. The only thing that's constant is change.
Right.
And those who can adapt will thrive.
So where do we even begin?
Right.
There's so much information out there, so many new technologies emerging all the time. It's hard to know where to focus.
Well, I would start with your interests.
Okay.
What are you curious about? What problems do you want to solve?
Yeah.
Once you figure out what you're interested in,
Okay.
you can start exploring the technologies and resources that can help you learn more and develop your skills.
It makes sense. It's easier to stay motivated.
Yeah.
When you're learning about something you're passionate about.
Exactly.
And there are so many online courses, tutorials, and communities now.
Absolutely.
It's never been easier to be a self-directed learner.
Yeah. The internet has made knowledge and learning opportunities accessible to everyone.
Right.
You don't need to go to a traditional university anymore.
Yeah.
Or rely on expensive training programs to learn new things.
So it's about empowering ourselves to become lifelong learners.
Exactly.
Taking control of our own development.
Yeah.
And taking advantage of all the opportunities that this tech revolution is giving us.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about individual empowerment. It's about collective action.
Yeah.
We need to work together to make sure that these technologies are used for good, to solve social problems, and to create a more fair and sustainable future for everyone.
It's a powerful message. It reminds us that technology is just a tool.
Right.
And it's up to us to decide how to use it.
We can choose to use it to create a more just and compassionate world.
Yeah.
Or we can let it make the inequalities and divisions we already have even worse.
It's a choice we face every day.
Yeah.
Individually and collectively.
Right.
And the choices we make today will shape the world we create for ourselves and future generations.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive so far, from the complexities of the crypto market to the potential of digital twins to transform our cities. But maybe the most important takeaway is this.
Go ahead.
We are living in a time of unprecedented change.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to rise to the challenges and embrace the opportunities that this new era is presenting us.
We need to be proactive, engaged, and informed citizens working together to build a future that benefits everyone.
So let's not just be passive bystanders in this technological revolution. Let's be active participants shaping the future we want to see.
Exactly. Let's use the power of these technologies to build a world where innovation and progress serve humanity and not the other way around.
I love that.
Yeah, it really is fascinating to see how all these things are coming together.
It is.
Like the crypto markets and the political stuff and all the new technology.
Yeah.
It feels like it's all kind of weaving together.
Right. Yeah, like we're right on the edge of a major shift.
Absolutely.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves, I want to go back to Naver's Twin XR platform for a minute.
Okay, yeah.
Can you give us a little more detail about how they're actually using it in Saudi Arabia?
Sure. So Naver's been working with the Saudi government to create these really detailed digital twins of their major cities.
Okay.
They're using advanced mapping tech.
Yeah.
Including their own platform called A-like.
Okay.
As well as these mapping robots and AI positioning systems.
Wow.
To collect a huge amount of data.
That sounds super complex.
It is pretty sophisticated.
What kind of data are they gathering?
So they're collecting data on everything.
Wow.
From the city's layout and infrastructure to things like traffic patterns and how people move around.
Okay.
They're even mapping things like wind flow and solar radiation.
Wow. So they're really getting a complete picture.
Exactly. And then all that data gets fed into their Twin XR platform.
Right.
Which uses AI algorithms to create a dynamic and interactive 3D model of the city.
So it's not just like a static snapshot of the city.
No, not at all.
It's like a living, breathing digital replica.
Exactly.
That they can use to run simulations and analyze all kinds of situations.
Right. They can simulate how a new building might affect wind patterns.
Wow.
Or how changing traffic load timing could impact congestion.
Okay.
They can even test how well different emergency response plans would work if there was a natural disaster.
That's incredible. You mentioned earlier that they're using the platform for flood management.
Yes.
Can you give us an example of how that works in practice?
Sure. Let's imagine there's a heavy rainstorm in Riyadh.
Okay.
The Twin XR platform can take real-time weather data and use the city's drainage system model to predict which areas are most likely to flood.
Wow.
So city officials can be proactive and send resources to those areas and take steps to minimize any damage, potentially saving lives and property.
That's amazing.
It really is.
So they're not waiting for a crisis to happen. They can see potential problems and take preventative measures.
Exactly.
That's a game changer.
It is.
And you're saying they can use this same approach for other urban challenges too?
Absolutely.
Like what?
Things like making energy use more efficient.
Okay.
Or planning for population growth.
Right.
It's really quite versatile.
It seems like these digital twins have the potential to revolutionize how we think about cities.
Yeah.
You know, how we design them, manage them, and even live in them.
Absolutely. Making them more efficient, sustainable, and resilient.
It's just so cool to see these innovations being used to solve real-world problems.
I agree. It's really inspiring.
It really is.
It shows what we can achieve when we combine human ingenuity with powerful technology.
I mean, all this talk about digital twins and AI and blockchain, it just highlights how quickly technology is advancing.
Yeah, it's happening at an incredible pace.
It's not just changing our personal lives.
Right.
It's transforming entire industries.
Exactly.
And reshaping the world as we know it.
It's happening faster than ever before.
Right.
And the convergence of these technologies is having a huge impact across every sector.
Wow.
From finance to healthcare to manufacturing to education.
Yeah, it's hard to even grasp all the possibilities.
It is. It can feel a bit overwhelming.
Right. So how can we keep up?
Yeah, how do we stay ahead of the curve?
As individuals, how do we make sense of all this change that's happening so fast?
I think the most important thing is to cultivate a mindset of lifelong learning.
Okay, so always be learning new things.
Exactly. We need to be curious and adaptable.
Yeah.
And willing to continuously update our knowledge and skills.
Because what we learned in school might not be relevant anymore.
Right. The world is changing so fast that what we knew a few years ago might be outdated.
So it's not just about acquiring knowledge.
Right.
It's about developing the ability to learn and adapt to new information and new technologies.
We need to be comfortable with not having all the answers.
Yeah.
And embrace the uncertainty of the future.
Because the only constant is change.
Exactly. And those who can adapt will thrive in this environment.
Okay, so we need to be lifelong learners.
Yes.
But where do we even begin?
Right. It can be overwhelming with so much information out there.
Yeah, there are so many new technologies emerging all the time.
Well, my advice is to start with what you're interested in.
Okay.
What are you passionate about?
Yeah.
What problems do you want to solve?
Mm.
Once you know what you're curious about,
Right.
you can start exploring the resources and technologies that can help you learn more and develop your skills.
That makes sense. It's much easier to stay motivated when you're learning about something you love.
Exactly. And there's so many options available now.
Yeah.
Online courses, tutorials, communities.
It's never been easier to be a self-directed learner.
Right. The internet has democratized access to knowledge and learning.
Exactly.
You don't have to rely on traditional institutions anymore.
So it's about taking control of our own learning.
Exactly.
Becoming lifelong learners. And seizing the opportunities that come with this technological revolution.
Absolutely. And it's not just about individual empowerment.
Right. It's about working together.
Exactly. We need to work together.
To ensure these technologies are used for good.
Yes.
To solve social problems and create a better future for everyone.
It's a powerful message.
It is.
It reminds us that technology is a tool.
Yeah.
And we have the power to choose how we use it.
We can choose to create a more just and compassionate world.
Exactly.
Or we can let it make existing inequalities even worse.
It's a choice we face every day.
Yeah.
Individually and as a society.
And the choices we make today will shape the world of tomorrow.
Exactly. For ourselves and for future generations.
You know, we've talked about so much in this deep dive.
We have.
The complexities of the crypto market, the potential of digital twins to transform our cities.
It's been a wide-ranging discussion.
But perhaps the most important takeaway is that we're living in a time of unprecedented change. And we have a responsibility to embrace the challenges.
Yes.
And seize the opportunities that this new era presents.
We need to be proactive and engage.
Yeah.
Informed citizens, working together to create a future that benefits everyone.
So let's not be passive observers.
Right.
Let's be active participants.
Yes.
Shaping the future we want to see.
Exactly. Let's harness the power of these technologies to create a world where innovation and progress serve humanity.
And not the other way around.
That's the goal.
Yeah. It's really inspiring to think about all the good we can do with these new technologies.
It is.
But let's face it, it's not all perfect, right?
Yeah.
There are some serious concerns about the ethical implications
of
AI, blockchain, digital twins, all of it.
Absolutely.
So how do we make sure these technologies are developed and used responsibly?
That's the key question.
Yeah.
We need to have these open and honest conversations about the potential downsides.
Okay.
You know, for instance, we have to address those concerns about data privacy, algorithmic bias, and the possibility that these technologies could be used for surveillance or even control.
So it's not enough to just get excited about the potential benefits.
Right.
We need to be actively thinking about the risks.
Yeah.
And putting safeguards in place.
Absolutely. We need to develop ethical frameworks and regulations to guide the development and use of these technologies.
Yeah.
And it's not just up to governments and corporations.
Right.
We all have a role to play.
So what can we do as individuals to make sure these technologies are used ethically and responsibly?
Well, we can start by learning about the potential risks and benefits.
Okay.
We can support organizations that are promoting ethical AI and responsible innovation.
Right.
And we can hold our leaders accountable
Yeah.
to make decisions that put people and society first.
It's a good reminder that technological progress isn't just about making new gadgets and algorithms.
Yeah.
It's about creating a future that reflects our values and our hopes for a better world.
And that requires a conscious effort from all of us.
Absolutely. We've covered so much ground today.
We have.
From market trends to politics to DeFi to digital twins.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
What stood out to you as the most surprising or impactful development?
For me, it's the speed at which everything is changing.
Yeah.
The convergence of these technologies is happening so fast.
Right.
And the potential impact is just enormous.
It is.
We're seeing a fundamental shift in how we live and work and interact with the world.
It's a time of tremendous opportunity.
Yeah.
But also great responsibility.
Absolutely.
We've been on quite a journey today.
We have.
What's one key takeaway you hope our listeners will remember?
The world is changing faster than ever before. And the future is full of possibilities.
Yeah.
Embrace the power of technology, but use it wisely and ethically.
Right.
Stay curious, stay informed, and be an active participant in shaping the future you want to see.
That's a great message to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of blockchain and beyond.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time for another exploration of the ideas and innovations shaping our world all day.